Hello, so day 2 of the alcove restoration. So timber downstairs has been jet washed, get rid of all the green algae and some of the muck, sanded on one side, the side that I want as the face with the most interesting grain or features in it. And so now what I'm going to do is measure the 3 sections of the alcove, mark them out on the deck outside with masking tape, and then lay the timbers down onto that just so I can see what kind of coverage I've got, and just jiggle around with the best bits for the areas I want, and kind of make a mock-up and then do any cutting required outside, so when I bring the stuff in I kind of know how it's going to be laid out. So let's go and do that. So here's a curious optical illusion. The back wall of the alcove is a square. It's 183 centimeters high by exactly 183 centimeters long. How is that possible? Curious, but I can prove it. Okay, there's the tape laid out along the back wall. Zoom in on that. It's dark, isn't it? Let's zoom back out and I'll just move closer. 183, can you see that? Okay. Now without doing anything to the tape, there it is, set on the floor, going all the way up. 183. It's not focusing very well, this camera. How strange. So here's my selected timber, stacked against the log pile. Least interesting stuff on the left, slightly nicer grain on the right, and then these long sections which are going to go on the back wall. And then we're going to mark out the area on here. There's those broad boards that I'm going to use as skirting along the bottom. So there's a few nails to tap out. Anyway, let's crack on. So what's with the gaps? Well, what I'm doing is measuring the overhanging ends and then taking that space out, so what's cut off there will fill that gap. and then we come along that overhang there, cut off, we'll fill this gap. That's perfect fit, gap there, overhang, so the next board I won't bring in. There's 40 centimetres sticking out there, so I've measured 40 centimetres in from the edge, and that's where the next lap will go, like so. And then there's quite a chunk of that, and it just means you're getting staggered joints. I mean, even that joint's a little bit staggered because none of these are exact. Plus this is going to be, so that's the floor, this is going to be behind the bed, so you're not going to see a lot of this, and that's why I'm using this quite uninteresting looking timber. We'll get the nicer stuff with the grain once we get a little bit further up. So yeah, that's how this is working. So if that's the floor end at that end, the bed head comes up 100 centimetres. So that's where these little green V2 blocks are at either end now. So I'm going to start using the more interesting timber above that. And I'm going to keep these little V2s at either end just as a little kind of feature point, and start using some of the longer lats so we can get whole lengths put in. Obviously some of those will be cut as well, and but it'll just cover that space a bit better in one go. Okay, so this is it laid out, and the next time you see it, it'll all be cut, and all those overlapping ends will be filling in the gaps, and it'll create a solid wall. So there it is, all cut, ready to go on the wall. But I'm going to make some of these uninteresting boards a little more interesting.